Well, people are more than ready to march down the streets protesting the SNAP benefits cutoff. Fast food establishments are cracking down on employees abusing the one free meal a day system, leaving even people with jobs struggling to find lunch. In this video, we're going to sit down together today and discuss how there seems to be a food shortage even though humanity seems to waste more food than ever seems to get consumed. If you personally can relate to anything discussed in today's video, or you just simply been enjoying my daily Doomer commentaries over here on the page, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts and opinions down below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to the handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
In light of everything that is happening right now, the craziest thing to me would be my franchise sending out letters for all of our employees to sign saying that their employee meal can't go over $7 when a fucking quesadilla is $8. You're telling me I can't even get a quesadilla at my own job, at my own work? You got me fucked up. I'm getting whatever the fuck I want. Because that's absolutely ridiculous. Not only do you not pay people, but most of the people that work for your stores are on SNAP benefits. And releasing this information right before the fucking government is saying, no, you're not allowed to eat this fucking month. Now the company is telling you, oh, you also can't eat here. Because we know that you're going to take advantage of the food source that we have here because the government isn't giving you your SNAP benefits. Why don't we stop asking these questions about why do you need SNAP benefits and start asking the appropriate question of why aren't these companies paying enough to let people survive upon, you know? So remember, most of the SNAP recipients are either children, the elderly, or people who are working full-time and have a fuck ton of bills that they possibly can't cover, and they need that food assistance to be able to eat and feed their family. So don't come at me with, oh, well, the only people that are getting SNAP benefits are pieces of shit. Okay, so 20 fucking million children are pieces of shit? Children can't fucking work. Oh.
Now, currently, at the time of recording this is November 1st, which means that SNAP benefits are getting cut off or they're getting, struck down on. There's a bunch of restrictions getting now put out where people are going to be without money to eat. And, that's making these big organizations, these big fast food companies, very worrisome because, in case you guys didn't know this, despite how much money and profit these big organizations bring in, the vast majority of the people in these SNAP benefit programs, these EBT, these food stamp programs, are working these jobs. And usually at a lot of these fast food places, they allow you to have a one free meal a day policy, which is supposed to be a plus for working at the company. And when you're working around food all day, I mean, hell, you're throwing away constantly food all day, so it's almost deserved. You should be getting at least one free meal. And that seemed to work out for a long time now, but now companies are worried that maybe employees that are not going to be having much food at home are going to be abusing the system and either making extra food or, bringing home extra for other people in their family, or just maybe just taking more than one meal because, God forbid, they, take care of the people that work for them. But I do understand that there are these systems and you shouldn't be abusing them, but when everything else is down and out and, there's like a one thing I was always told: if you catch somebody stealing food, you don't snitch on them, because that is the one thing that, it's not that stealing is okay, but you can't really fault that because everybody's got to eat. Now, do you feel like this is just a backwards mentality? Do you personally feel like you're against the whole SNAP benefit system? Do you think we should have a different organization or a different way to fix this type of thing? Maybe fund it in a whole different way. Again, I'm not paid enough to deal with these situations or solve them, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, opinions down below, as well as if this is affecting you and if you're currently facing a crisis regarding these measures.
For the first time in 43 years, food pantries are actually running empty on food. As it pushes closer to November. As of today, this is the 26th of October, 2025. Tomorrow is actually the last day for them to open the government back up so people can start getting their benefits. I can't even begin to describe how catastrophic this is. This is one of probably the worst times in history for a lot of people right now, especially American people who's trying to figure out how to feed their children and how to bring food into their household. As you all know, around maybe like the second week of every month, food already starts to run low. That's when you start to rob Peter to pay Paul. You fishing for scraps in the cabinet and stuff like that. So I could not imagine what some people are going through right now, panicking And you already have people out here working full-time jobs that don't even get stamps, who works 12, 16 hours a day. And those very people are still struggling right now. So when you have family members trying to lean on other family members, it's going to still be hard because, you know, everything is so high. And then with everything being so high right now, the price is skyrocketing, and then having the benefits just snatched from them, it's just kind of wild. And you got people on here laughing about the situation. I don't really see nothing funny about it because, you know, I was raised off those same benefits that they're taking from people. I was raised off those same benefits, and so I couldn't imagine.
Now, with more people than not struggling right now to find food and eat and keep the fridges full and the cupboards, and you know, try to not keep the cupboards empty, the food shelves are having a very hard time. They're very restrained right now. There's a lack of funding and a lack of food and a lack of resources to divide and divvy out amongst the community, being that there's more people than ever before going to these establishments, these food shelves, food pantries, and these community-funded places where you can, you know, get a bite to eat when you're on your last end. And being that, you know, they don't really restrict many people out of these, sometimes they'll ask you certain questions, and they'd rather have people who are really down and out to be there more than, you know, people who make $100K a year and just are trying to fill their fridge for free. You know, there is definitely a kind of a weird mindset around that, but anybody's really welcome these places. So everybody, and more people than not now struggling, are taking advantage of these opportunities, which is what they're there for. But again, with only a small amount of these really existing, I don't think it's really going to feed the majority of the population through these hard times. And are there going to be more of these things opening up? Well, there's no funding for that, so I don't really see that being the case either. So what do you think is going to happen when people are refusing to eat? People keep talking about looting, how they're, you know, if they can't afford food, they're just going to steal it. But I don't think that's going to really work out in the long run at the end of the day either, because, I mean, that's not really how capitalism is structured. So how do you personally feel like this is all going to end, or do you think this is going to keep getting worse and worse?
I'm 36 years old, and I'm about $3 million in medical debt. After a heart attack, open heart surgery, and life support, I was 8 weeks in the hospital. I'm a retired veteran, or medically disabled veteran, and you would think they would cover it. I showed a video like this when I first got to the hospital back in November, and I showed this bill right here, totaling $500,000. And everyone said, it's not $500,000. You only owe $22,000. Your insurance paid the rest. Yes, you're correct. But what about these other hundreds of bills that I haven't even opened some of? Let me give you an example. This one says amount $1,400. Veteran responsibility. The VA only covered $400. I owe $12. Let's get another one. $1,200. $22,000. Veteran responsibility $500. VA only approved $134. I owe $424. Veteran responsibility, $2,080. The VA only approved $432. I owe $1,647. I could keep going with this. I have hundreds of bills that I haven't opened. I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. It gives me anxiety. Yes, I'm still on hundreds of medications that I need to survive. Good news is, I just got pulled off of dialysis. I no longer need dialysis. Well, I surgically have this placed into my chest, this device, as you can see here, and it needs to be removed surgically, anesthesia. Guess what? The hospital that put it in called me yesterday and told me the VA denied it. The VA did not give them the green light to remove it. So I'm stuck with this fucking catheter in my jugular vein through my chest, and the VA won't approve of removal. You wonder why people are pissed off at the American health system. I have millions of dollars in debt after just surviving surgery, open heart, life support, medications for years to come, and they can't approve a fucking catheter removal? This is bullshit. America, get your fucking shit together.
Now, when people find themselves in financial straits, or any restraint that is, they find themselves racking up debt. And if you don't have money, what do? You got to borrow it. And but the thing is that with more people probably not being so easily eligible to apply for these things, I mean, I have a feeling people are going to start getting denied unless we're just going to, you know, let anything go, let you rack up the credit card as high as you want because you're going to think one day they're going to get the interest. I don't know what's really going to happen. I mean, do you really think you're going to be getting paid when everybody owes you? At a certain point, it's the bank's problem, not ours. That's like what they say. You know, if if you owe $1,000 to the bank, it's your problem. But if you owe the bank $10 million, then now it's their problem. So at a certain point, they're going to start cracking down and not really being so, open arms with all these, loans and payday loans and advances and cash advances. I feel like certain companies, yeah, they definitely benefit that in the predatory aspect. But at the end of the day, it's not really a real solid foundation to fix these measures. And again, it's almost devilish to, pry on the people, on like the less fortunate. They're already damn near victims, to continue this lackluster life for who knows how long. Well, that's going to wrap up this video discussing the food shortage that is the current state of the world, and how there really isn't any. It's just, the greed that is in humanity and the devilish symptoms that the mental mindset of the current 2025 day society is, prompting onto people. But I would love to hear all you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comments regarding anything discussed in today's video. And if you personally can relate, unfortunately, I'd love to hear that as well, because a lot of people can relate, and I myself can too. So a huge shout out to the handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Genuinely want to give a huge shout out and a lot of acknowledgement to the handful of you guys who've been checking those out. I've been sharing my personal life a lot deeper than I usually do on my community posts and through my live streams and through some of these end parts of these videos. And a lot of you guys have definitely reached out and have been so kind-hearted, and some of you guys have contributed to help me out through these times, and I will always owe you my attention, and these videos will continue to keep on coming. So a huge shout out to the handful of you guys. Hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. I plan to remain as consistent as I possibly can and try to keep the quality up as high as possible. So a huge shout out to you guys. Hope you guys have been enjoying. That's kind of for me in this one, so I'll see you in the next one.